In 2010, I read a book that literally changed my life. In fact, if you know anything about me on the internet, Nicole Burke, you know that I am all about the kitchen garden. And my obsession with the garden began with this book. It's called Animal Vegetable Miracle, and it's written by Barbara Kingsolver. In 2010, I was kind of a mess. I had 2 young children and had just had my 3rd baby. I had pretty much put my career on pause. I was at home a lot, and while I love spending time with my kids, I was in somewhat of an identity crisis, and this book helped me find my way home. So while I was nursing my newest baby, I devoured this book. It was an introduction to food, to nature, to life that I had never experienced before. In this book, novelist Barbara Kingsolver and her family moved from Arizona to Virginia with the purpose of becoming locavores. They dare themselves for 1 year to eat locally. In fact, they draw a circle around their home, and I think it's about 100 square miles, where they will not source any food that's beyond that point. Barbara Kingsolver is not a gardener by trade, nor is she a garden writer. She's a novelist. So the way she wrote this book brings you into her story in a way that no other gardening book can. For me, at that time, I knew nothing about growing vegetables. I knew nothing about gardening. In fact, most of the things she talks about in this book were a total aha moment for me. And as I found myself following her and her family's journey, I could not help but want to take a journey of my own. It's been over 12 years since I had all my aha moments with this book, and now I'm excited to invite you to have your own moments with this book too. I'm so excited to introduce you to the new Gardenary Book Club. Each month, we'll select our favorite book about the garden, real food, the environment, and share it with you through the book club. All you have to do is grab a copy of this book from your favorite library, bookstore, and read along with us. Throughout the month, I'll post videos, blog posts, reviews to help you keep going through the book and make sure you get the most out of it. To kick off the start of this book club, I could not help but start with this book, the way it all started for me. If you've never read this book, or it's been a while since you've read it, I would love it if you read it alongside me this month. Wherever you find yourself in your own life this year, I know that this book will help bring you home too. Author Barbara Kingsolver starts off with a bang. It starts on page 5, and when I read this excerpt called Oily Food, I was hooked. I was like, tell me more about how to change the world simply by eating differently. So listen to this. Americans put almost as much fossil fuel into our refrigerators as our cars. We're consuming about 400 gallons of oil a year per citizen. About 17% of our nation's energy use for agriculture, a close second to our vehicular use. Tractors, combines, harvesters, irrigation sprayers, tillers, balers, and other equipments all use petroleum. Even bigger gas guzzlers on the farm are not the machines, but the so-called inputs. Synthetic fertilizers, pesticides, herbicides all use oil and natural gas as their starting materials and in their manufacturing. More than a quarter of all farming energy goes into synthetic fertilizers. But getting the crop from seed to harvest takes only 1/5 of the total oil used for our food. The lion's share is consumed during the trip from the farm to your plate. This got me. Each food item in a typical U.S. meal has traveled an average of 1,500 miles. That's a long road trip. In addition to direct transport, other fuel-thirsty steps include processing, packaging, warehousing, and refrigeration. Energy calories consumed by production, packaging, and shipping far outweigh the energy calories we receive from the food. A quick way to improve food-related fuel economy would be to buy a quart of motor oil and just drink it. More palatable options are available. Listen to this. This is a sentence. It changes everything. Are you ready? If every U.S. citizen ate just 1 meal a week, any meal composed of locally and organically raised meats and produce, we would reduce our country's oil consumption by over 1.1 million barrels of oil every week. That's not gallons, barrels. Small changes in buying habits can make big differences. Becoming a less energy dependent nation may just need to start with a good breakfast. You better go.